Sure. Hi guys, this is Francis DiMarzio and Ian Luckett, and we're going to do some tone sculpting here on the HeadRush Gigboard. We were thinking, since one of our friends, Head Hippie, is considering buying the HeadRush MX5, that we would try and tone sculpt a tone that he would like, basically. Which,
something suitable maybe for stuff that Ministry might do. I mean, it won't be a Ministry tone, but it's going to be in that ballpark. Let's get some serious heavy metal tonage out of the HeadRush, sort of, and see if we can get there.
Okay, so basically, pulling out my handy dandy Gibson SG, which I think is
a suitable weapon for the job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And we're basing this amp is going to be a humbucker, because the humbuckers push the amps, and even in a sim, even in the HeadRush, it actually does work, that it responds to that. So hopefully this will be, for anybody who actually has the traditional amps, would also be applicable at that point as well. So first thing for a Ministry sound, for that kind of level of intensity, is that usually the sort of secret sauce they're using is a preamp of some kind. So there's actually a boosted signal going into the amplifier, and the HeadRush doesn't offer that as a pedal, but it offers input volume. So it's a bit like saying your input level in this, or if you were in a DAW, this is where you're pushing that a little bit. And normally we all shy away from going into the red, so we're going to have to watch that we're getting the right tone from the amount of power we're putting in without necessarily peaking, which is where the trick's going to come in. The first thing, as I said, that you need, that kind of secret sauce for that level of metal, is you need a preamp, which in this case is going to be pushing the signal coming from the guitar. In this case, we've got the guitar, it's in the middle position, and you've got the volumes, both volumes wound up to the max.
And the tones, yes.
And the tones, so everything's maxed out. So at this point, you can see the screen there for the HeadRush, and we're going to need to add an amplifier. So we kind of thought, this one needs to be a PV. The PV that you need for this kind of thing is one of those really big old-fashioned rigs. So I think what have you got?
The PV51, we have PV51 2, we have the clean, the crunch, and the lead, basically. So
just go for the lead.
Yeah. Alright, so here's the amp, and by default, it puts in a cab that's a 2x12 silver cone, which
okay.
You can just delete that if you
want. We can change that later, but if you play that and just, this is what the amp, out of its default setting, sounds like.
This is in drop D tuning.
Yeah, in drop D tuning. So you can hear already that is already a driven sound, and we've got everything maxed out on the guitar. So what we're going to do is try and sculpt the tone to get close to that chugga chugga kind of sound that you want to hear when you hear that, the sound that's good for chugging and good for really long held chords and whatever, where it just like rips your face off. And that's about sculpting the sound. Specifically, you want the drive on this. So if you bring up the interface for the actual amplifier,
this is the pre-gain.
Mm-hmm.
This is your mid, your post, your low, and your high.
Right. Okay. You know, when I was talking about preamp, the pre-gain is it. Okay. So you want that to be, what value is it at the moment? Is it 50%?
Yes.
Right. Okay. You want to take that up to about 80%.
Okay.
And then, is there something like a drive? On the lead, is there a drive effect?
You got low, mid, high. You have a post, and if we switch here, you got resonance and presence.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay. That's great. So low needs to be around about, I guess, 65%, something around about that. You need, when you're dealing with these scales, they're not the same as all scales on amps. These are digital scales, so they go from 1 to 100%. Sorry, 0 to 100%. 0 being nothing at all and 100% being full on. So you have to bear that in mind, that the original amps don't really often do it this way. They're kind of pots, maybe the middle position might be 0 and you're deducting or adding. So it's slightly different. But yeah, your bass, I guess, around 65% because you want to keep some of the bass tone. Your mid needs to be about 60%. Because you want to still push with it. You want those, that kind of drive. And you want your treble down around 55, something like that. Okay. Yeah, so just above halfway, just to keep that fluidity, that going. Your gain, if there's, you've got a pre-gain, but there's no other gain control on it.
Post here,
post.
30%, yeah. Right,
30%. Well, I mean, if that were, because you want your drive somewhere over 50%, sort of 60%-ish. So maybe stick that up to 60 and see whether that is something like a gain or drive. Yeah. That's the one. Yeah, that's where we're getting there. Right, okay, resonance needs to be down to about 25%. You just want resonance a little bit in the back. It doesn't need to sparkle too much. Yeah, okay, so you can hear already that you've got that null, which is really important for long-held sustained chords. We need to think about the cab that you're driving it through. We need to think about the IR a bit. Presence. Oh, hang on.
It's at 60 right now.
Play it again because I need to hear it. Sounds about right. Okay. Yeah, 60% is that.
All right. Yeah.
It's above. Is it above 50? It's going to need to be above 50 to keep it.
60%. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds about right. We want to change the cab now. Let's get the IR right.
Mute this. I'm going to pull up an IR.
So this one, the really old Marshall kind of the tuba 12 Marshalls or something like that.
By 12s were greenbacks.
Yeah, tuba 12 greenbacks might be a good place to start.
What I normally like is the high gain with a 121 and a 57, basically.
Okay, does that keep the darkness going, or is it bright?
Well, here, listen. We can go dark if you want. There is dark.
Right, okay, go dark.
If you want a dark option, there's 2 options with the 421 microphone.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 options with a 121 Royer. There are 2 options with the 57. And that's it for the dark. So if you want to try to start with a 57, we'll do the first one.
No, the 57's not going to work with because what we're trying to do is capture a relatively small speaker cab, a tuba 12, not a 4x12 we're trying to capture. So ideally you'd be looking at, I don't know, you'd be looking at what kind of...
It's a Royer 121 or it's a 421, the MD 421?
I'd try the 421, yeah, try the 421. Yeah. Ooh, that's got some fizz on it. Maybe it's just the overall volume. I think we might have put...
Let's try the other one. Hold on.
Yeah.
It's always going to be... the IRs are always louder than the other...
right, okay, yeah.
So here's the other one, the dark one?
Dark 3. That's better. Okay. From here, that sounded better.
You want to hear the 121s just to compare?
Yeah, go on then. Actually, that's nice.
And what about this?
That's round. I like that.
There's one more here. Hold on.
No, the one before. Yeah. That was good. That's...
Okay, what we can
that
do,
sounds good.
What I like to do, it's got 20,000 hertz, and to mimic a speaker cabinet, I always bring it down to about anywhere between 5,000 and 6,000 hertz. That's a trick I learned from Matt Shaw. So.
Right, so what's that? It's set at the moment at what?
It's set at 20,000 hertz. I'm bringing it down
20,000,
to about 5269.
Right, okay.
So let's listen to that. And the low cut's at 20 hertz. We can bring that up to about 80 if you want, or 100.
Yeah, I think you would probably... No, not too high, because you need to maintain it, but perhaps bring it up to 60 to see what it is at the moment. You might need to lower it a bit more, but, or fiddle with it a little bit. Yeah, no, that's too much. Low cut.
Bring it down to about 50?
Maybe 45, something 45? Like that. Yeah, okay. So 50%. That probably does need a little bit more than that. Yeah, okay. That sounds okay.
Now we can add some gain.
No, if anything,
we can drop the gain on the speaker too if you want. Though.
Yeah, I think you need to drop the gain on the speaker slightly.
How many dBs do you want to go down? We're at 0 dB.
Take it down to -6 and see. I normally jump in 3% blocks, so
it's better, but I would still go maybe a little more.
So yeah, try 9.
I think that's it's a little low. Between 6 and 9 would be best.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so split the difference.
I think that's good.
Okay. Right, so that's the mic and that's got the ambience, the room sort of ambience going.
We're going to delete the speaker since we don't need it anymore. So now we have our IR, which is our speaker cabinet, and we have our amp.
Yeah. Okay, and to be honest with you, you don't truthfully need very much more. You don't need a whole load of effects pedals to get there. The noise gate on this is automatic, isn't it?
Yeah, we can adjust it if we want.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment it sounds okay. It's not hissing and screaming.
Yeah.
You'd normally put a sort of EQ on this of some sort.
What kind of EQ do you want? We have a graphic EQ.
Well, okay, you got a graphic EQ because that way we can kind of fiddle with each band as it goes.
Presets here if you want, or we can just
let's just go default and do it scratch because they're okay. So take around the lowest one. What's the values there? What values are we looking at?
Everything's at 0 dB gain right now.
Yeah. Okay. So the first band is what range? What range have we got on those?
Low gain, mid gain. You got high gain. Then you got low mid gain and high mid gain, and then you got gain.
Right. Okay. So gain, just leave it at midway, wherever it is. It's whatever its default is.
But the gain is at 0 dB right now.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah, that would be that. We might want to fiddle with the level at some point, but probably leave it at the default. It's the best thing. Take your low gain completely down.
Well, the low gain's at 0 dB. You want to bring it to what?
Yeah.
You want to go down?
Take it as low as it'll go.
As low as it'll go is -12 dB.
-12. Yeah, that's great. You just want to sort of eliminate it completely. Your next one needs to be
the mid gain.
Yeah, your mid gain really needs to be a little bit scooped around the 500 hertz. A little bit, so like a soft scoop down from around about 250 hertz to somewhere around the 1 to 2,000, the 1 to 2K. You need to have this soft dip that's a little bit of a mid-range scoop. Basically, so that's what you need.
Mid gain, we want to bring it down because it's at 0 right now. We want to bring it
right. Okay. Yeah, bring it down to sort of like -5 or something.
-5? Okay.
Something like that. And your highs, your 2000s and ups want to come down slightly as well. So you want those at around about, -3 or something like that.
Well, you got high gain, you got low mid gain, and high mid gain.
So take your high gain down a little bit. Take it down to -3 or something.
-3?
Yeah. Your mid gain, I think we've done that, haven't we? Did we not just do that? So it needs to be just below 50%.
Now we have the low mid gain and the high mid gain. You have 100 hertz, 370 hertz, 800 hertz, 2 kilohertz, and 3.25 kilohertz.
Okay, right. Okay, now I know what the scale is. Right. Okay, so the low mid gain about -3 again, because you're doing that soft curve, aren't you? So -3 again. Now you should have a kind of mid scoop on that. Right. Take the high gain down a little bit.
Take it down from -3 to what?
to say -6. Okay, push the low up a bit.
The low's at -12. We're gonna go down to
-5. No. The next one up, the not really low, because that you don't want that booming away. But
the low mid gain, you mean?
The low mid gain.
Okay, we're at -3.
-3. Push that up to about -1. Just sort of bring it slightly higher. Can you play like a chugga? Okay. Yep, I think that's about right for just the EQ on that signal. So you probably need some reverb, and you're going to need a little bit of delay. Probably the reverbs, you're going to look at a fairly large space for this, fairly dark space.
The high mids at where it is, at 0 dB?
Yeah, the high mids, yeah, that should be alright.
Okay, so let's go. You want to add a reverb?
Yeah, so you need to add a reverb in a reasonably big space.
11. There's a long plate, medium plate, and I like the medium plate, so listen, you can hear it.
Yeah, that clips the sound slightly. You don't want to clip the sound in this. So I think a long plate might be. Try that.
A long plate? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean more like that, but I think probably you've got the effect level a bit high there.
Well, the tone's at 100%. You got the mix at 51%. Your pre-delay's at 20 milliseconds, and your decay's at 62%.
Yeah, your delay needs to come down to about 45%, and your
decay? 45?
Yeah, your decay needs to be about under 50% on this kind of thing. Your colour's sort of roughly half, I suppose, is where we left it. Was roughly in the middle of whatever scale you're using.
So tone's 100% right now.
Yeah, I'd take the tone down to probably about, from listening to that, to about 50%.
And the mix, it's at 51. Do we want to go lower?
Yeah,
30,
you want to go
35?
about 45. It's under 50%, but not too far under 50%. In a mix, you might want to. Yeah, in a mix, you might want to take that down to more like 35%, to be honest with you.
The pre-delay's at 20 milliseconds. Do we want to change that?
No, to be honest with you. You can. But to be honest with you, it's hard. I won't hear it through that compression. I won't be able to tell the difference between what you're doing with the pre-delay. It does make a difference, but it sort of softens the edge of how quickly the delay comes in, how much it begins to, carry the note, as it were. But yeah, I mean, it sounds about right. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So if you stick bass with that and grunge along, essentially that's that kind of Ministry sound. It isn't a Ministry tone, but it's that level. It's that area of sound. Using this equipment, using what we've got here.
You want the delay you were saying?
Sorry, yeah, maybe just sort of like put a very, very slight delay on, like a eighth or quarter delay, probably a quarter delay.
Do we want delay after or between?
We want the delay after everything, basically, but maybe before the reverb, yeah.
Okay, so what kind of delay do we want?
Digital delay works pretty well on these kinds of things.
Digital delay, so you want like a clean delay.
Yeah.
So dynamic delay, let's say.
Right, okay, and you want it to be...
Stereo? Mono?
Stereo would be fun, yeah.
Default?
I can't hear the stereo on this, can I? So,
no,
stereo, yeah, stereo default. But you need to be able to adjust what the delay is, obviously.
It doesn't matter. Whatever we put, we can adjust it after anyway.
Right, okay, so yeah, make it...
with a preset, but we can adjust it after.
Okay, right, fine. Okay, so just choose a nice stereo.
So here's the default delay. I don't know if you can see there.
Yeah.
Your delay's at a quarter.
Yeah, just about. Yeah, okay, try that.
You got your mix at 50% ratio.
Yeah, it wants to be lower than 50%.
The mix?
Take it down to maybe, take the mix down to say 25%.
Okay.
You don't want it to get too overpowering.
The ratio's at 50%?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
The feedback's at 50%?
No, you want feedback to be down to about 35.
And sync is on.
Yeah,
the width is at 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
Envelope to feedback is at 0%.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to, and yeah, you don't want. Mm-hmm.
Your low cut's at 42 hertz and your high cut's at 8,000.
Right, we might. Actually, that sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Stereo is on and tails are off. I can turn them on.
Yeah,
if you want.
tails are off. To leave tails off.
Okay.
Yeah.
So try it.
Okay. Okay, and just to prove we're never going to be monetized, play it. Do you know the beginning of Paranoid?
Let me find some sort of track to play with here.
It sounds pretty metal to me, but I'm a pop singer, what would I know? Yeah, I mean, and obviously when you put that sort of thing into a mix, you'll want to adjust the reverb and the delay, and probably you'll want to adjust little bits of it, like the preamp volume, etc., just to get it so it doesn't clip. But using all this synth stuff and thing, I kind of like, it took me ages to get used to this, of how good they're getting. Is that you can treat them just like you used to treat the old-fashioned rigs. They are the same. You just got to know where all the knobs are. Like, to me, in my head, I'm thinking turn the knob. You know, like what happens when you do that? And it's like, and then converting it to, okay, that's 0 there. That's 0%. So that's what the scale means. But no, what do you think? Could you use that tone?
I'm not a
Would that have worked in Calder Herd or something?
Well, yes, that could definitely work in Calder Herd.
Are you going to try and do a jam with this?
I'm gonna try.
Just on the fly,
yeah.
just to prove it's working.
Yeah, we could try that, I guess. Okay.
Bravo, that was brilliant. That was, yeah, there you go. Did you feel that gave you the correct articulation on the sound,
I think
on
it
the
sounded
tone?
pretty good to me, man, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, you're the one playing it, so if it feels articulate and you respond to it within a given environment, then generally that works. So, but yeah, I mean, I leave it up to all the metalheads out there to tell me whether we got anywhere near.
This tone, 50 quid. This is definitely a kick-ass rig with me. I like that. So, we're probably gonna try doing some more of these tone sculpting things. We're just getting used to here with a lot of the setup and everything, but we'll give it a try with some other tones.
Doing some, like, you know, maybe a tone for a Telecaster, a tone for a Stratocaster, or a tone for a Les Paul, tone for a 339, you know, and
P90
and a Gretsch, and P90s. See what we can come at. Because it doesn't, although you think that every amp sound, because it's digital, is going to be triggered pretty much the same way by any guitar, it really doesn't work that way. You know, they really do all sound different when you plug a different guitar in. And it's like, you know, and Francis has got lots of guitars. So, we thought we'd try some experiments and see whether we could actually, approach getting, you know, sort of really relevant and useful tones for those instruments.
But the next tone sculpting, we will try it with HeadRush MX5.
With the new boy.
Oh yeah. Stay tuned for the unboxing. All right, guys. Thanks for spending some time with Ian and I. And Ian is he was teaching me about this how a tone works and everything. And I want to thank you, Ian. And hopefully this can be useful for other people. I'll let you close off on this.
Thank you very much. Yeah, like I said, it's something that's quite odd. I've just been doing it for years, and I never think I'm any good at it. But we did a few experiments with HeadRush before, didn't we? Quite a few over the last few months when we've been working on things. And Francis kept quite a few of them, and I kept thinking, why have you kept that? You know, he was scrolling through his list and he was like, why have you kept that? And it's like, because I really like the tone. So we thought we'd give it a go about what does the old school when it meets the new school do? First of all, they have to learn to talk to each other and understand what the scales mean. And then after that, we should all get charging. Yeah, we should all get charging. So hopefully see you again. Bye.
Bye, everybody. See you at the next tone class with Ian Luckett.